Okay, hatboro-horsham people, we're set to take advantage of these open strings here in an A, D, E, A, D, E progression. That's a 1-4-5 progression in the key of A. So let's look at these bottom three strings, the E, the A, and the D, as they're played open, and go back to something that is just it's absolutely essential that you learn this. How we extract a major scale. You've heard of 2-2-1, 2-2-2-1, the non-musical but effective way of learning that you can make a scale out of any starting note just by counting 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 1 on any instrument, on a piano, on a guitar, whatever you're playing. So let's look at what's first called the chromatic scale. It consists of 11 notes, that's 11 frets right here down to these double dots that you'll have on your guitar, which means that you're now an octave away from the starting note, which is the open string here. That's the sound of an octave. And let's look at all the notes, what all the notes are. All 11 of these notes are. They're in a never-ending, always the same sequence, always the same. An E is always followed by an F is always followed by an F sharp, a G is always preceded by an F sharp, and that F sharp is always preceded by an F, etc., etc. They go in the same order all the time. You can't possibly get tripped up on that. So you have E, F, F sharp, I'm going fret by fret, 3rd fret G, 4th fret G sharp, 5th fret A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E. And you have this chromatic scale. That's every note. If I played that down the guitar, that is, down these strings, it would be what I just played there is what I played at least up to string 4, fret 2 is it's the same as going I hope you can hear that, because these notes, once you're past fret 5, you can find these notes at other places on the guitar, another place or other places when you get farther up the neck. But we don't play an 11-note scale. What all of music, basically the lingo of music, the name of chords that you play with 6/7, 9ths, and flatted 5ths and flat 7ths, are all based on the do-re-mi major scale. The do-re-mi is called an Ionian scale. There's 6 others. You don't have to worry about any of that. You just know that your starting point for any musical discussion is always the major scale, and the major scale is a 7-note chord. Obviously we have 11 here, so that means four notes have to get cut from the team. And what are those notes? Well, 2-2-1, 2-2-2-1. I have E, F sharp. I skip a note. I skip a fret. I skip a fret, and I have a G sharp. Then I don't skip a fret, that's 2-2-1, and that is an A note. Then I skip a fret, now it's a B. I skip a fret to C sharp, skip a fret to D sharp, and then don't skip a fret, and I have an E. I wind up with 7 notes. Those 7 notes conveniently, the way the guitar is strung in normal tuning and standard tuning, allow you to play that scale like this. You can hear the do-re-mi scale there. To show you, just so you can see what I'm doing. Skip, skip, don't skip, 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 don't skip. And I can play that right down that fretboard. It should also be obvious that if I can do that starting on this string open, I can do it starting on the next string, because they're all tuned the same, which is string 5 of the higher of the lower string actually is the same as the open string below it on the guitar. And that goes for this D, and that goes for that G. So I have, if I have an A scale doing the very same thing, but I'm not going to go through it because it's the very same thing that I did on string 6. If I did that same thing on string A, I would come up with, you can hear that, that's the do-re-mi scale again, the Ionic scale. And then I go to D, and remember, I'm going to end up on string 2. Whenever you have at string 2, that's entering into the dead zone, the bad zone, because it pushes all the notes up the guitar fretboard. So the D would be D, E, F sharp, G. That's open. Everything's the same until I get here. Now, instead of having this note back here on fret 1 as I did with the E and the A, I now have it on fret 2 and finish off on fret 3. So those scales, so what does that mean? That means essentially that these notes right in here, strings 6, 5, 4, and 3, all those notes they work for all 3 of those chords. So let's look at a basic shuffle, and I'm going to say what these notes are now, and let me preface that with that. We talk of building a chord with the 1st, the 3rd, and the 5th. What does that mean? You can see it right here. 1st, that's the E. 2nd, 3rd, do, re, mi. This note right here, this G sharp, is the 3rd of an E chord. The 5th is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the 5th. String 6 or string 5 fret 2 is the 5th. That's a B note. So you'll hear if I had an A, let's just take the very simple bass in an A, D, E progression. A very simple bass would just be 1st, 3rd, 1st, 3rd, 5th, 1st, 3rd, and 5th. First, 3rd, 5th, 1st, 3rd, 5th, 1st, 3rd, 5th. And what I was doing was just playing the very same pattern on 3 different sets of strings. The first, I start off with the 1st, that's string 5, that's an A. The 3rd is string 5 fret 4, and the 5th is string 4 fret 2. And that comes out like this. 1st, 3rd, 5th, 1st, 3rd, 5th, that pattern. I move that down to D now, and I have an open D on string 4. And on string 4 fret 4, I have the 3rd of that D chord, and on string 3 below it, that A note is the 5th of a D chord, and that comes out. And I just move back to the A, and there I'm playing string 6, open, string 6 fret 4, then string 6 fret 2. Put that all together, and I just have, that is the structure of the chord, the 1st, the 3rd, and the 5th, and it goes, I'm making it just simple. You can double pick that, you can do a bunch of things, but you have to understand and learn, just learn the basic relationship of those chords. But I'm on an A chord, here is A, that's my bass, I have a 3rd, I have a 5th here. Down here I have a 6th, which is string 4 fret 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I'm going to flat, and we're going to do this right now, I'm going to flat that 7th and make it a dominant 7th, what's called a dominant 7th, which is the A7th that you know. It's a G note, which is either open string 3 or string 4 fret 5. And I can do something like this. That's guitar boogie shuffle. It's one of the first things you should learn. It's one of the early things you should learn, I would say, not one of the first things. But what I'm playing there is the first, the third, the fifth. That's string 5 open. I'm on an A chord, A, C sharp, E. First, third, fifth. An A chord is made up of an A, a C sharp, and an E. Those 3 notes. And then I play the 6th, which is right here. That's an F sharp, and then a G. And then I just walk right back with that. So if you play guitar boogie shuffle in A, you would have an A chord, a D chord, and an E chord, and you take advantage of all those open strings. You have down to string 4, that very same pattern. Now back up to the A, same pattern I've been playing. Now up to the E, open string E, string 6. And then back to the A to finish it off. That's an excellent little exercise for you. I'll give you one other, which I did in class, which is the Beatles song, Birthday. If you did Birthday, you would have, today is your birthday, on an A. It's my birthday too, yeah. And then D, today is your birthday. It's my, back to the A, gonna have a good time. Glad it's your birthday, but to an A. Glad it's your birthday. Happy birthday to you. Back to the A. So you can play that just like you would play Frankie and Johnny, as a matter of fact, very same song. And what I'm doing there is going string 5 open, string 5 fret 4, string 4 fret 2, excuse me, then string 4 back to the 7th, and then string 4 fret 4, string 4 fret 5, string 4 fret 4, string 4 2, just walks right back, and then to the open string twice. So, excuse me. Now, that happens to be the very same thing the Beatles do in Birthday. And it goes twice on string 5, then string 5 fret 4, string 4 fret 2, string 4 fret 5, string 4 fret 4, string 4 fret 2, and then string 5 open. Frankie and Johnny. Now back to the, now down to the D chord. Excuse me. And then back up to the A. And then up to the E. And then you have Birthday. Etc. Okay, that's some stuff to work on, to learn your way, learn what you're playing here. I'll give you another video probably next week where we just, show how to jam against that using just these notes. That type of stuff. Just on those notes that I just showed you, you can play that typical old country rock type stuff. with just those notes and have a lot of fun with it, because your fingering right here is just, that's an A, that's an E, and I'm not playing anything below. These are all dead. And then a D right here, and you don't even oftentimes need this D note down here on string 2. So there's some things that we'll get into shortly, and I'll give you another video after next week on Pretty Woman and a little Ray Charles thing, What I Say, which uses all this stuff. There's so much that uses this stuff. Maybe Day Tripper, and a couple other examples. You're going to find and hear examples all over rock and roll, from Bill Haley on to Lady Gaga, I guess. So I'll give you another video on a blues intro, but that's it for this one. Work on that and really understand 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's a major scale right there, and you have a lot of work. That's, you know, it's not, here's another major scale playing it this way, but I had to do all that work with my hands down here, with my fingers. Here it's just, that takes care of it. And also notice that one other thing before I leave, we have a pentatonic scale. Pentatonic scale sounds like it has 5 notes in it, which it does. It has 5 notes. So how do we get from this major scale, how do we get from that major scale to 5 notes? We have to cut 2 notes. What are those notes? Well, those notes are 1st, 2nd, 3rd there, and the 4th note is out. This open string 5 in the key, for an E chord, or in the key of E. And I pick it up here at fret 2 again on string 5, and fret 4 at string 5, and then I have no note, and I have no 7th, and I finish up with string 4, fret 2. That's an octave away, that's the other E. So my pentatonic scale would be, and you can always check that by just doing the old 4-top song. And if you want to, how about A? Well, it's the very same thing, very same fingering. You'd have, and then, well, I'll give you the D because we have a different fingering, and I'm going to want you to use a different fingering for that. But anyway, that's it. There's your pentatonic scale right here. Just don't play the open strings. Okay, I'll see you at the next video, and I'll see you next Tuesday.